Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. It is time for some gameplay from the game Combat Volume 3 Arnhem. And this is, of course, from Compass Games. And the series designer for Combat is Ross Mortel. And this particular edition was designed by Adam Starkweather. So I figured the best place to begin would be with scenario number 1. Okay, now there is some things in here. You've got your random events and your British command structure, right? Basic information that would apply to any of the scenarios. We are actually interested in this next page here. Okay, so this is the scenario we will be undertaking. Scenario number 1, setting a perimeter. So this is the very beginning of it. And obviously Arnhem is a part of Operation Market Garden. And this is the British airborne that we will be playing as against the German defenders. This is a solitaire man-to-man combat game. So each counter will be one soldier, one player character, if you want to look at it that way, however you want to look at it. Each counter is one person, one man, and you control them. You're controlling the British forces, and the system controls the German forces. So there are some cards that will be used, and the cards drive some of the action. But the game overall, not super complicated, but there is a lot of moving pieces to try to remember. So we're going to try and go probably kind of slow, and at least in this initial video, and then we'll pick things up hopefully and speed up a little bit as we progress. So information on this scenario is pretty basic. This is the west map. I know you can't see it at the moment, but it is underneath. That is the west map part of it. It's underneath the scenario booklet here. So the battalion is approaching Arnhem and have the task of securing the Arnhem Bridge for 30th Corps to use to continue the offensive. It isn't known what resistance is expected. West map. No enemy forces start on the map. They all arrive with the random event reinforcements, which is right here, 7 or 8. So we'll see that. Friendly forces will have the Bren group and Colonel Frost from the command group. The command group is new to this this particular edition, the volume 3. Our board edges are hexes 319 to 1119 inclusive are the enemy edge, which is pretty much the southern part of the map, and a pretty not real deep. So the action is going to mostly be on one side of the map, I think, because this is not a big one. This is your first scenario. Probably a little bit more of an introductory type thing. Get your feet wet, learn how the system goes if you haven't played one and or two, which took place in Normandy in France and had the Americans taking on the Germans. So our board edges are 3, as I just said. I just read that twice. So yeah, that's the board edges, 319 to 1119 inclusive. Okay, and enemy default alert level is waiting. Okay, so enemies have alert level and morale level. And you can see their morale levels normal, which is kind of no modifiers. Anything you can go above normal and be higher morale, and you can go below normal and be in cautious, shaken, rout, etc., where you're getting shaky, and then rout of course means you're running away. Friendly level is normal. Friendly weapons all start loaded because you do have some weapons that need loading. You can run out of ammunition. That is possible unless you're using a pistol. And obviously your bigger weapons like your anti-tank, your Payets, they would need to be reloaded in between firings. The enemy's unprepared. Starting hand size 3 cards, so we'll have 3 cards. The wind direction is southwest. Okay. So I will get the compass. I'll show you the compass rose in a moment, but southwest is this way. Okay, north is that way. Well, southwest is really more like Yeah, it's kind of up into the, yeah, because west is directly that way, so it's more like that. Anyway, we will get into that in a little bit. Let's see, Flak 41 gun. So they do have, the Germans have a Flak 41 gun, is abandoned and cannot fire or change facing. To destroy the Flak 41 gun, successfully place a grenade in the hex with the gun. So it's going to tell us where to place that here in a moment. Now, artillery and mortar round placement. If an enemy spotted, place on the closest one to a German unit. If more than one is spotted, place an equal number on each spotted unit from the closest to the next closest, etc. Multiple rounds, because you don't control the artillery. The artillery is not controlled. It's off board basically, and it's not controlled by the player. So it's telling us where you would put the target, what you would be targeting specifically. So I won't read that whole thing, but we'll do it when it comes up. Reinforcements. If a reinforcement event comes up, place the following forces in order on the map. Hex recommended. So we have rules for our friendly reinforcements, which could include a 2-inch mortar. Friendly mortar rounds could be placed, and actually I guess we get this at 0600. Rifle group and Sergeant Crawley from the command group at Hex 102. Enemy reinforcements arrive in the following order, and then you've got your Flak 41A facing to the southwest. Okay, that's in 419, which I will show you when I place it and we're set up. It's basically at the very bottom of the map. Then we're going to place all the blue group counters in a cup and draw 4. So that's how we'll determine the enemy mix. And we'll place enemy artillery and mortar rounds, place gray group in hex 1619. The gray compass is facing southwest. The game turn length is 10 turns. And then over here, we have our victory conditions. So for each, we get 1 victory point for each enemy. That's a non-NCO. 2 points for an enemy NCO, 3 points for any enemies we take prisoner, another 3 for destroying the Flak 41, which is the 88, plus 3 victory points for all of these hexes. You can see here, and then we lose 3 for every friendly character killed except Frost, -6 if Frost is killed, Colonel Frost. He is the overall commander. -2 victory points for each wounded friendly character still in play. So basically, you want to kill them, capture them, take some places, and destroy their gun, while not taking a ton of casualties. 14 and up is a British victory. 13 and under is a German victory. All right, so I'm going to set everything up here on the board. I'll show you the draw for the blue and gray forces. Well, yeah, that'll come up when we actually roll the reinforcement event. So for now, we're just going to set up our forces and the Flak 41 gun, and then we're going to get underway. Okay, so all of our men start up here in this corner. So this is basically the upper left-hand corner of the map. It basically is the, I guess, southwestern corner of the map. And what we've got here are, here's Colonel Frost. Okay, and then we've got under him the Bren group. So these are all equipped with Bren guns. You've got Private Goodwin, Private Hale, Private Chilton, Private Cleverly, Private Gascoigne, Private Boswell, Private Corporal Brooks, Private Kent, and Private Kelly. Okay, now they start in this hex right here, which is literally on the corner of the map. And they are on the street. There's a road here. I brought the kind of the display mat over onto the map so you can see it as we begin, because this is our friendly deck. That's actually the enemy deck. I take it back. That is the enemy deck. Wrong side. This is the friendly deck. And you can see the cards. They say infantry training on the back. Okay, I already shuffled them. Our impulse is here. I need to grab the turn marker and put it here. And then you have your initiative track where you put out, which will be real simple in this case because there's only going to be a couple, 3 or 4 at most, that will go on here. And that just shows the order of activation based on the initiative. And we'll get into all the mechanics of this as we go. Okay, here we go. So there's the command group and the Bren group. And the 2 German groups that can be in here too are gray, well, blue first, then gray later. Turn marker is there. So you would draw initiative and line them up in the order that they go. Okay, first thing I want to do is draw my cards. I get 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we can look at them. Okay, and you can see what types of cards they are. There's 2 orders and 1 discard. Okay, and we'll get into that here in a moment, but these are the 3 cards that I'm going to start with. Now, this is hex 0102. They actually start, yeah, they're in the right spot, 0102. So that's where they start. Okay, so the way we start this off is we have to play something to the initiative track. And so as I showed you before, we have these 3 cards. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to keep this one as well, and I'm just going to play this one. So this one, as you can see, it is an order card. But what we're looking at up here, well, there's 2 things we're going to look at on here. We're going to look at our initiative here. So we have the Bren group, and they have a 24 beside them, and the command group, which is just Colonel Frost, has a 14. So they go in order. So the command group would go first, and then which would be Colonel Frost, and then the Bren group would go second. Now, we also have to look at this, and it says bad shooting, -1 to all WS, which is weapon skill. So I'm assuming and hoping, and it seems likely, we won't actually have any fighting this turn. I'm guessing. So this -1 to the weapon skill isn't that big a deal. We put it here so it's on the track and we can see it. And then up here we have boxes for all of the enemy squads. No enemy squads are on map yet, and they won't arrive until we get an enemy event that would then give us the chance to have the enemy show up. So for the beginning, we actually operate kind of solo here, and we don't have to draw any enemy cards. Unless I'm completely misreading the rule book, that is how this works. So with that being the case, we start here with our command group, which is Colonel Frost. And what we're going to do is we're going to use him and give him an order. And then that order will determine what he does this turn through all 4 impulses. So you start with impulse 1, as you would guess. And then once everybody's completed impulse 1, we go to 2, 3, 4, and then it goes to turn 2. And there's an end turn phase as well. So we have to decide what order we want to give Colonel Frost. So what we are going to do is we're going to give Colonel Frost here a plan order. And you can see it's 0000, which basically means he doesn't do anything. He's planning. And the reason to do this is to draw some extra cards. Now, he's got a leadership rating of 5 and a troop quality rating of 8. So basically, he does nothing this turn but sits in the same hex. Okay, so he'll be up here. And I'll just leave him there for the moment, and we'll slide him up as the other guys move out. He's going to sit up here, and then at the start of the next turn, well, we'll have to do a troop quality check, which is simply a die roll against that 8. And if it's that or lower, he passes, and then we would be able to draw 5 cards because that's his leadership rating. And we would get to choose which of those cards we want to keep when we start the next turn, because you can only have 5 in your hand, and we have 2 right now. So assuming we don't play either of these, which I don't think we will, then we would be able to draw 5 more and keep 3 of them total, and discard any ones we don't want to keep. I have moved the display mat over to the right because I wanted to show you where these objective hexes are, and they're actually, I'm going to have to move the camera because, well, we'll start with the rows. Okay, so in row 4, 16, which is all the way down at the bottom, near the bottom. Definitely off map. You see my finger here? That is, well, this is 411. So 5 hexes further south than that. So in row 4 we have one. In row 7 we have one. I'm sorry, 4, 7, 14, and it's always 16, 14, 16. So they're south of here, or actually that's kind of, I guess, southeast of here. 14, 21, which is all the way over here, and then 26, which is actually not in the shot, but it's like right there. So we're going to be heading basically like kind of in this direction. And we're going to fan out our Bren group because as the name of the scenario would indicate, this is setting a perimeter. We're trying to wall off this southern. I keep wanting to say southern because I always feel like top is north, but in this case, north is this way. So it's more like southeastern. We want to make a southeastern perimeter with this group. So that's what we're going to do. So everybody is going to actually get a sprint order. And what that looks like, well, believe it or not, I can't find any sprint markers. I'm sure they're in there somewhere, but I can't find them. So sprint looks like this. Okay, you can see the 1, 2, 2, 2, right? So a move order that maximizes speed at the cost of defense and firing. The marker has a 1, 2, 2, 2 on it. The character with this order must move 1 hex on impulse 1 and 2, hexes on impulses 2, 3, and 4. Character with this order may enter rough terrain types, but the character must then duck back, we'll talk about that later, at the end of the impulse. Okay, characters with this order may spot and duck back as usual. On impulses 2, 3, 4, the character may move 1 hex and then choose to duck back. In other words, it's not forced to move both hexes if it ducks back after the first hex. -A on the right side shows that the character with this order is unable to fire for the duration of the order. So there is the order, and you can see the A on there. And my guess is there's only a handful of them. And I sorted everything and kind of made neat little piles and put them in a counter tray, and I can't find them. So we're just gonna, I know that that's what they've all got, so we're just gonna move them out. And as there are no enemy forces on the map, they are able to move. Now, as it says, they can move 1 hex on impulse 1, which is where we are right now. So we'll take Private Goodwin here, and he's going to move to 2. Okay, and actually we're just going to move the whole, well, I don't want to do that. We're going to move the top. How many do we have here? We've got 9. We'll send 4. Actually, we'll send 5 this way, and let's put him back in 02 where he belongs. The Colonel stays there. These guys go here. Okay, as they start to move, well, I'm going to send 1 down the road here towards 416. And then I'll send them over towards 716 and everything. So they're going to come down this road and head this way after they go to 416. And we're going to take these guys and send them this way, and then they'll go down this road diagonally to get 14. I should swap these, and we'll do the. Now, normally you'd probably want to look at these and pick a team that kind of complements themselves based on their ratings. As you can see here, they all have different well, they're not all different, but they're different enough that it's worth checking that out. Okay, so we're going to send 4 this way. We'll send 3 that way. 3 down there. We'll send the other 6 this way, and we'll split them into groups as we go. All right, so that's impulse 1. We would move to impulse 2. Okay, now you might wonder why the enemy doesn't get a turn to try and activate, let's say. And the reason is their cards, and I'll show you the very bottom one, their cards don't have anything on them about an event, right? It's basically just commands for the various units. So there's nothing in here about that. It's just if they have line of sight, they're going to evade if they're aggressive, or in cover and in open, right? So you have different things you're going to do here. And we'll get into that more. But the thing is, the only way we're going to get an event is on the friendly cards. And we didn't get any events in the friendly cards when we drew the first group. So we're just going to continue on here in impulse order, go through turn 1, then we'll go to turn 2, and they keep their orders throughout the whole turn. So as we saw, that order is a 1, 2, 2, 2 for movement. So they're going to move, and we're going to take, well, we'll just move these guys down, 1, 2. Okay, so they're moving down this way, and these guys are going to move 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then we won't split them up. He's staying there because he's planning. Now they will move to the next impulse, and we'll do the same thing. Go 2, 1, 2, and they will go 1, taking 3, 1, 2, and these 3 will go 1, 2 because they're going to split up. And these guys will go down the road this way, and these guys will come down the road that way. Now we go to impulse 4, and we do the same thing. 1, 2, and then they'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and that ends turn number 1. Right? So now we go to turn 2. I can slide this back over so you can see we're on turn 2 now. Okay, now we have to figure out what happens with Colonel Frost up there. So we have to take a TQC, troop quality check, for the Colonel. And we're going to roll 1 die, and I'll use the white one for the good guys, so to speak. And yes, that is an American symbol, but I don't have a British one, so we're just going to use this one. They were allies, right? And we got a 4, and a 4 is below an 8, so he passes. And that's all there is to it. And he is going to get 5 cards for us here at the start of turn 2. And I'm going to move these off there because we'll do initiative again. We redo initiative every turn. So I'm going to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I look and see what we got here, in addition to the 2 we already had. Okay, so this is an order trip, which I already had one of. Then we have a discard blind shooting. All friendly fire from cover is -2 this turn, but enemies are -2 to hit them. Order pour it on. We don't have the section leader team, but they would get a +1 weapon skill. Then we have lucky. Play to reroll any 1 die roll, so that might be worth keeping. Vent. Roll on the friendly event table. Okay, so we may use that one. And so let's see which ones we'll keep. We'll keep the event. Don't know that we need that one. Choose 1 friendly. We'll keep that. Maybe this would be 5 total. Blind shooting. We'll keep that one. Keep this one, and what we keep. Yeah. So we're going to discard these 2. Okay, so they'll go in the discard pile, and then we'll look. It doesn't even really matter what we use. So I'm going to play my event card to the track here. Command group is 24. Bren is 88. So again, it'll be command first, then Bren. And we put this down, and now we have to roll on the friendly event table. Okay, so let me get my ice mat back, and here is that's the enemy table. The friendly table is on page 1, which is right here. So this is what we're rolling for. 0-1, it's only a flesh wound, which would remove a light wound marker. We don't have any. Then we have ammo distribution, which could remove a low or no ammo marker. We don't have that either. Friendly 3-inch mortar fire. We don't really need that. And then we have the Dutch family appears to place the Van Valberg's character in the hex described in the scenario. We don't have that in this scenario, so we wouldn't have to worry about that. Reinforcements is the one we want. Although number 8 is not bad either. And 9 is nothing. All right, so let's roll our die here. And we got an 8, and that is Wahoo Muhammad. Increase the morale by 1 level on any friendly character. Well, they're all normal right now. So I can pick anybody I want and raise their morale. And I think, well, let's see. Who do we want to give a little boost to? So what I would do is you look at the character, the players, the soldiers you have, and the top number there, the red number, is their troop quality, right? So if you have a lower guy, he might be better off with a higher morale, is my thinking. So we've got a couple 5s there, and we have 2 6s and a 7 up here. So they're pretty good. And then down here we have a 7, a 6, and a 6. So it's going to be one of our 5s. And we'll just make it Private Boswell here. He's going to get an improvement from normal to bold. Bold is the next one up. And then if he improved again, it would become aggressive. But he's bold now. So you can see on there is a +1. So that improves his stats, let's say, by 1. So we're going to put him on here. And now he's basically a 6 there. So that's it. And we drew our new cards. Now, one thing I will point out, this says event on it. So that's one of the 2 types of event cards. There are other ones that don't have the initiative section. And they'll just say event. And whenever you draw one of those, you immediately don't do it. You stop everything and you roll to see what the event is. And some of them will say friendly event. Some of them will say enemy event, just like this one would. All right, so it again is time for us to give our orders. So his plan order goes away. Okay, and I don't need to do that again. So we're going to give him a move, an order that will get him moving, just like we did with the other guys. And I think what we will do this time, instead of sprint, actually, I think I'm going to do evade again anyway, because here's the thing. You can do evade, right, which also doesn't allow you to fire your weapon, but you only go 1 hex at a time instead of 1, 2, 2, 2. So we'll give everybody a sprint order, and then I'm going to have to move the shot probably, because these guys, I think, will probably, they'll go 1, then 2, then 2, then 2 more. They'll be out of camera range. And I think we'll send Colonel Frost this way. All right, so let's send these guys down. So they'll go 1, and then he'll go 1. They'll go 1. They'll go 1. Okay, and then we go, whoops, we were on impulse 1. We go to 2. Now they'll go down 2, 1, 2. He'll go 2, 1, 2. They will go 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Then we go to impulse 3, and we do the same thing. 1, 1, 2. Whoops, what am I doing? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And let's do something a little different to allow him to catch up. I'm going to do a 1. We're going to move 1, and we're going to, and this will be true for all of them in this group. We'll do a duck back. Actually, no, because it would end up getting, it would make them hide next turn, which isn't useful right now. So they will move 1, 2. And then next activation, meanwhile, these guys will move down 2, and I'll reset the shot after, because we're getting close to 416. So we will hold up there. So they'll move 2, he'll move 1, 2. They're going to move 1, and then they'll duck back. And I'm going to put a duck back order on them. Okay, so duck back, as you can see, here's duck back. Basically, it just means you're kind of taking cover, I guess. And then on the other side, you've got hide. And as you can see, you get a bunch of zeros, and it takes over your turn. So we're just going to put that on there. And did I move this guy? I think I did. I think I did. They were up here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I think that's correct. So that would end, that was impulse 4. That would end turn 2. We'll go to turn 3. And we do the same thing over again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause and I'll do some stuff until maybe we get an event where the enemy comes out. And then that way you'll be able to see maybe something a little bit more exciting than me just moving guys down the road here. One thing before I do that though, now I have 4 cards, okay? I can't draw another card until I either do a plan order with Frost again, or I run out of cards. So I have to play these 4 cards before I draw another one, or give someone with command ability. Actually, Corporal Chilton could do it too, because he's got it too. And so could Corporal Brooks. So anyone who's an NCO or an officer would be able to do it. Your privates can't. This comes off the duck back. Now, if I did this in Impulse 3 like I was originally going to, it would simply have gotten flipped to hide during Impulse 4, and that would have been their order for this turn, which probably would have been fine because he would have come down and met up with them, but you know, it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. So, and I'll show you which card I'm going to play. I will play, I think we'll play this one, Blind Shooting. It's a discard. Right? So what's the difference between a discard and an order card? What it really means is this can be played during the turn for its one-off event, which would be blind shooting. Okay, so if I keep this and play something else, well, this is also a discard, but let's say I play this one. It's an order card. That means this happens regardless. If I play any of these 3 that are all discards for initiative, this event never happens, basically, or that effect never happens. So we'll do the pour it on, and that way I can keep my discards, although I'm going to have to play one in turn 4 anyway, probably 4, 5, and 6, unless I again do a plan with somebody else. So for now we are going excuse me, we are going to play pour it on, and command group is a 76 and Bren group is a 42, so the Bren group would go first. And I just realized I screwed it up because I was moving Colonel Frost with them, and I should not have been, because he would have gone first. So he would have ended up here, and that would have been that. But it's all good. It's kind of a no harm, no foul, because there's no enemies out. So let me now skip ahead and hope something happens, and if it doesn't, I will let you know. Okay, so this is the situation at the end of turn 3. These guys are heading towards 1416 right here. Yeah, this one right here in the middle of this building, which again is just off shot. 1 second. Okay, that's better. So 1416 is right here. So they're going to come right down here. Colonel Frost is here. He kind of cut through the buildings to catch up. They're going to 716. I forgot about 716, which is right here. And then 416 is right here. And we have captured that. So we would get... and you only have to, I think, enter at some point. Okay, so we don't have to stay there. We just had to enter it. We got 3 victory points for that. Now we'll get 3 more once he gets here. And assuming they get there, that would give us 3 as well. So we would move on to turn 5, which I will now do. And this time we will play... we'll play this one. What's he doing? We'll discard it, and it's going to be command 24. So command group will go first again, which will allow Colonel Frost to catch up to these guys. So I'm going to put that there. That has been discarded now. And we'll keep the other 2. So what I would do in terms of orders is I'm going to give them... I could have sent these guys over now that I think about it. We'll give them evade orders. These guys and these guys will get evade orders, although actually 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, they can go here. So they'll get sprint, they'll get evade, and they will get evade. And I did screw this up because I could have sent them. I had it right the first time. I was going to send them to 1416, which I can still do. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to modify this up. I am going to give them a different order to allow Colonel Frost to catch up to them. So he will get an evade order because 1, 2, 3, 4, he'll get there. And I'm going to give them a hide order, I think. Now, I have been playing these with the spotted side up. Okay, so there is an unspotted side and a spotted side, right? And the only way you can really tell is the color of the unit type at the bottom, right? This is command group, and it's in white on the spotted side. It's in black on the not spotted side. So he was here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and meet up with these guys here in turn 5. So I'm just kind of going through it because there's no way the enemy's going to show up right away. Okay, so they're there, and then he's going to move down, and I'm going to move these guys in this direction, and these guys will move to towards 2116, which is right here. So they're going to go, because they still have a sprint order. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll go in the building, I guess. Okay. So, and then these guys would just get a evade order and go 1. It's only 3 away. 2, 3, 4. We'll just do it like that. So now we've got 6 victory points, and that was the end of turn 4. We would go to turn 5. Okay, so I was going to show you which card I'm going to play now. I'll just play, I think we'll play, it doesn't even really matter, I guess, ultimately. So I played that in there. We'll keep that other last card here, and now these guys will get we'll give them an evade order so that they can just move 4, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this group would also get, well, you know what? I'm going to give them a hide order, and I'm going to use the counter. So here's the evade counter. As you can see, they get to move 1, and they can't fire their weapon, so we'll put that there. These guys, the back of the duck back, as I mentioned, is the hide order. I'm going to put them there, and you may wonder why. The flak gun's location, if we do get enemy reinforcements, and if we don't, then you're just basically doing movement and fanning out and capturing everything, and you're going to win in a cakewalk. And then I would move on to scenario 2 and play that, which may be more exciting because there will be different things going on, right? This one does not guarantee that you're going to have any combat, which is ironic in a game called Combat. But the gun shows up in 419, which is at the very bottom. It's basically right down here. And since they're right there, I could just move the camera down too, because we're all at the bottom of the map now. That may be worth doing. Okay, so 419 is right here at the very bottom left where I'm moving my finger around. This is actually 418. It's right here below it. So the gun would be sitting here, and I think it's facing to the southwest, which would be like that. And then these guys can come in on the flank and knock it out with a grenade, which would then obviously get them extra victory points. So meanwhile, they moved, and now we have to move these guys, and they're going to 2116, which is adjacent to them. So I will also give them an evade order. So here's our evade order. We'll put that on the group so you can see. Now, technically, each guy has an evade order, so they would all have it. I'm just kind of keeping it together to keep the total number of counters down. So the first one would move them in there, and that gives us another 3. So we've captured 4, 4, 7, and 14. So that's 9 victory points. And now we need to head towards 26, I think. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we've captured 4, 7, 14, and 21. So we actually have 12. And because we have gotten 14, right? No, 14 is is here. So that's where they're heading. They'll get that next turn, but we do have three. We got to catch 14 and 26 for 16, which is here. So as soon as we do that, we will have captured all of the perimeter objectives. So I'm going to move to turn number this might actually be turn 7. I think I forgot to move it once. But regardless, I'm just going to pull these off. Although they may get the same orders anyway. And I'm going to play my last card. So now I'm out of cards. And again, this would be Bren group first, then the command group. And again, I've kind of been moving these guys together. But in this case, we'll give them an evade order. They'll go 1, 2, 3. And then they'll just go here for 4. And then he was here, so we'll put that. He's going to get an evade order as well. Let me grab this out of here. So we're going to keep the same order. So they get a hide order, he gets an evade order, they get an evade order, and they get an evade order. Okay, now I'm just stretching it out basically. So they don't do anything. These guys move. These guys need to move. They're moving towards here. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then they'll go here in the courtyard into the building for 4. All right, and then he could move, and he's just going to end up in the same hex as these guys. And again, we'll remove all the counters. We'll go to 7, and I will draw a card. And we'll see what we got. And we get Order Confusion. So again, no event. So this one gets played automatically, and it's command group and Bren group. And at this point, I'm going to, we got that, and this, with an evade order or whatever, he's going to advance there. And we've accomplished all of the objectives except destroying the gun. And we're over 14. We're at 15 victory points. Now, the only reason I'm even hesitating, and I'm going to leave everybody where they are. And I'm going to draw another card and see if we get an event, and we do not. Okay, so we didn't get an event here. This would be turn 8. We'll do turn 9, no. And turn 10, no. So we did not get any action in this. So I'm sorry, this is probably kind of boring, but at least you got an idea of the way the game works, sort of. We will play scenario 2 as part 2. So here's scenario 2, the attempted getaway. So I apologize that this wasn't more exciting, and maybe I blew it, but I believe the only way we were going to get an enemy is to get, I know they're in here, got to find one. Enemy event. Get that, or get one of these special ones. See if we can find one of those. So there it is, enemy event. So this is the other type. You can see the initiative doesn't have numbers, but we get enemy event, and you have to play this right away. So you would roll on the enemy event table, draw another card to replace this one, and then you shuffle your friendly card deck in the discard pile. So that's kind of a reset, and there's a couple of these in here. There's a friendly one as well, I think. Yeah, very last. It was the very next card, actually, because that was the top. So I will shuffle these, and I will set up scenario 2. And scenario 2 is the attempted getaway, which has kind of an interesting story behind it, with completely oblivious to what is going on. 4 V2 scientists race south with the intention of reaching Germany further south. So they were leaving, one of the V2 sites in Holland to try and get back to Germany because of the approach of the Allied armies, of course. The British and the Canadians were pushing pretty good in Holland at that point. And, so they're trying to escape, and they're going to run right into the middle of this big to-do with the fighting at Arnhem between the British Airborne and the Germans. So this will be the one we'll play. This one will have a vehicle in it, so that's a little bit more exciting. It'll be the center map. This is the west map that we've been on. So it's a different map, center of the city, basically. They do get an armored car. Then we've got the rifle group this time. with 1 Piot and 1 Vickers, so we get a little bit extra, and a mortar in building 1523, and GC within 1 hex of, that's the gun crew by the way, 1 hex of 724 with the 6-pounder emplaced in hex set 724. And then the British can place 4 fortified building hexes in any buildings rather occupied by a British character. Northeastern edge of the map is the enemy board edge, and it looks like they, the enemy, I guess the enemy starts off map again. So here's the Germans, but it looks like once we destroy the armored car, should the SKDD KFZ get immobilized, place the 4 Schütze of blue group in the same hex so that the vehicle is immobilized. These represent the scientists. Maybe we will skip this one and we'll go right to this, Grebner's attack, where we can maybe get some action. So, or Brinkman's assault, one of those two. I will review and decide what part 2 of gameplay is going to be, but that's going to do it for this one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll come back and check out the future installments. I'll probably do 1, maybe 2 more to kind of give this game, give you guys a good presentation of this game, as opposed to this one where, due to the luck of the card draws, we didn't get any action. So that's going to do it. Questions, comments, suggestions, corrections, all that good stuff, please put them in the comment section. I'll do my best to reply, or at least acknowledge it with a thumbs up and a heart, maybe. We'll see. Or as that would be like, I'm bad at this. Anyway, forget it. You know what I'm trying to do. That's it for now. I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.